Good evening, race fans. We are here today for the SCSRA Dev Sports Cards Cup Series. Tonight, for the first time this season on the road course, with a race here at Watkins Glen here tonight. Where we have Intensity Broadcasting here calling the shots here tonight. It is your one and only Jacob Shangle on the call here tonight. And so this is going to be a unique challenge here, as we might see some, different faces that might rise to the occasion. After all the circle race tracks that we've hit to start the season, who knows what could unfold here at the road course. We'll start to see drivers that are more likely to show their strength when it comes to turning left and right. Right now in our practice session here before the main event shortly this evening. So we got about 7 minutes left here of practice as the drivers get a feel for the car, get a feel for the track. So far it looks like we've got 16 drivers signed up. Fastest in practice so far it is Travis Bennett, a name that we have not seen towards the front in the previous weeks through practices and qualifying. Travis Bennett in the number 01 Bucky's Ford Mustang there, or rather Dark Horse, I guess. In the race here tonight, we're going to have in-car cams for 2 drivers. In a perfect 6 for 6 this season, we're going to have the 94 of Jesse Whittington's in-car cam. And then also Lauren Vincent in the number 07. So we'll fill them in throughout the race here, popping them up during the broadcast. But of course, before we can get the show on the road here tonight, we got to give a shout out to some of our sponsors that really keep the things rolling amongst the series that's presented here tonight and Intensity Broadcasting. So ultimately, tonight's broadcast is presented by Dev Sports Cards, the primary partner of the SCSRA and a consistent supporter of this league. Their eBay store has a fresh batch of auctions, from star rookies to vintage chase cards, plus 25-cent combined shipping on qualifying orders. If you want to support the people who support sim racing, check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay before those listings expire. And then, of course, our Butt Kicker replays here tonight, brought to you by Butt Kicker, bringing a whole new dimension to immersive entertainment. Butt Kicker's pioneered tactile feedback technology that lets you feel the action. Whether you're behind the wheel in a sim rig, watching a blockbuster in your home theater, or in the studio dialing in the low end. With 2 decades of industry leadership, their haptic transducers convert audio signals into physical vibration, turning sounds into sensations. If you've ever wished you could feel that racing shift, explosion or bass drop, Butt Kicker makes it real. And ultimately, in racing, everyone prepares for the competitors they can see, but one of the toughest opponents a driver can face never shows up on the timing screen. The hidden opponent is tackling the mental health battle inside the helmet, educating athletes, supporting teams, and giving the racing community language, tools, and leadership. Talk about what usually stays silent. because when drivers confront the hidden opponent, it doesn't just make them faster, it makes the whole garage stronger. And if any of those sponsors want to learn more about them, we've got links down in the bottom here. Definitely some great people involved in all the different corporations and businesses, nonprofits, showing the love for sim racing and the stuff that we enjoy doing the most here. So down to 2.5 minutes left here in practice. Travis Bennett still the fastest by about roughly 1,000th over Jesse Whittington. So that's a paper thin margin between the two of them. We'll see if that can convert into a qualifying run here today. Now that we've gotten 6 races into the season, that's when we can start looking at those point battles and what storylines might start developing later in the season here. Tonight, it's going to be 45 laps here at Watkins Glen. Grand total, 45 laps. And then first stage will be at lap 15. So a singular stage break here on the 15th lap. And I feel like tonight's definitely going to be one of those more unpredictable outcomes, as we've not seen a road course yet on the season, so there's no telling how things are going to play out here today. So yeah, after 5 races in the books, Jesse Whittington is your points leader with 1 win on the season. We've seen 5 different winners, so parity has been strong here in the SCSRA. Could we potentially see someone get their 2nd win on the season finally here at Watkins Glen? Our 5 different winners include that of Zachary Stevens, Kenneth Redinger, Charles Stevens, Joseph Irwin, and Jesse Whittington. Whittington has a 40-point advantage, rounding up to 40 points, on Joseph Irwin. Other than that, 2nd place is pretty much a wide open place marker, as Joseph Irwin holds on to 2nd for now. Garrett Walden with a good day. Matthew Fritz could have a good one. Charles Stevens could show up. Any of those names could jump up to 2nd if Joseph Irwin has. And actually, now that I'm looking at the charts, Joseph Irwin is not in lineup here today. So looking like possibly he might lose second in the points. So we're going to go ahead and jump around hot potato style and watch a few of these drivers on their laps here during qualifying. As I mentioned already, Charles Stevens Jr. has a win on the season already, sits about 3rd in the points. So with a good run here today, he should be up to 2nd. He's in 5th, my bad. 5th in the points. Garrett Walden 3rd, Matthew Fritz in 4th. And obviously the absence of Joseph Irwin here today may be opting out of the road course race, figuring it could be the drop race on his schedule. We all remember a couple weeks ago with Sharn Hill setting on the pole at Richmond, so maybe getting getting a good run here at Watkins Glen. We'll see how he does. Vince Brent should be okay. He's on his warm-up lap still. Still waiting on official laps to be posted here. These laps are roughly 1 minute and 10 seconds long, so one of the longer qualifying laps you'll see in an SCSRA. Probably the longest, since it's the only road course on the calendar. It's kind of spread all around the place, where we've got many of the drivers still on their warm-up lap, while there's others about to get a qualified lap here. This should be a qualified lap here for Vince Brent. We'll jump from him to the next one. Sharon Hill just turned a 111.61. Jumps to the top of the board. Josh Hall, 113. Vince Brent, a 112. And so Justin Parham just finished his at a 111.99. Kenneth Redinger, this should be a timed lap here. Coming across the line, he's going to be 111.46. And here comes Matt Bands. Coming across the line, 112.20. That's best for 7th quickest. Here we have Ryan Gomes, the number 55 Caterpillar Ford. The separation from fastest to the tail end right now is about 3 seconds. Gomes is on his warm-up lap, it looks like. So yeah, there is a couple names absent. At least we do have 1st and 3rd in the points, and 4th and 5th. 6th and 7th, 8th and 9th. And it seems that Joshua King was under the weather, so he's going to miss out here tonight. Only in iRacing. And, you know, just gun it at the end of your qualifying lap there. So this will be Gomes's qualified lap here. It's going to be good for 10th quickest at a 112.40. It looks like the last car to turn a lap might be the 24 of Matt Parasini. Travis Bennett jumps to the top, takes the pole from Jesse Whittington. And it looks like that's all the time we had for qualifying. So cut a little bit short. A few of the drivers did not get to complete their full distance on qualifying. But here we go. From qualifying into the main event now, here is your starting lineup here today. Travis Bennett takes the pole over Jesse Whittington. As I'd mentioned earlier, we had not seen much of Travis Bennett in this series, so showing up with possibly a road course ringer here tonight. Pole position. Then you've got Charles Stevens Jr., Kenneth Redinger, followed by Sharon Hill, Justin Parham, Garrett Walden and Vince Brent, Matt Bands and Ryan Gomes, Josh Hall and Matthew Fritz. And the rest of the field as follows: Jorge Ledesma Jr., Jay Stinson, Lauren Vincent, and Matt Parasini rounding out our field of 16 here tonight. As we wait for all the cars to join the grid here. kind of take a brief pause as we collect our thoughts before the event happens here tonight. Thank you for everyone tuning in so far. Hopefully it's a good race. I know road course racing can be a different beast altogether, but knowing this SCSRA Cup Series, they are going to put on a stellar performance here tonight. 45 laps is kind of a sprint in the amount of laps turned, but it's still going to be about an hour in length when you're turning about 1 minute and 10-second laps here at Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen, definitely a lot of history of this track. Way back in the day, way back in the years, used to host Formula One up before NASCAR had hosted races here, so definitely a star-studded race venue here in the U.S., based out of New York. And here we are tonight in iRacing, bringing you 45 laps of action with the SCSRA Cup Series. So obviously we're going to have to mix up the cameras a little bit, because it's not your traditional, you know, oval track where we've got the cameras pretty much staged everywhere. We're going to, you know, kind of get some different angles and different approaches to coverage here tonight. Already off to the early lead, it's Travis Bennett over Jesse Whittington. When I was mistaken, I thought it was 45 laps, but it seems like we might have some bonus laps here tonight for a grand total of 55. So nothing wrong with that, getting some bonus laps here, bonus coverage. I feel like one of the best things to do here tonight is kind of keep an eye on the drivers that are gaining. And so what we'll highlight is the gainers and the droppers throughout the night here. Currently, moving up through the field, the number 24 of Matt Parasini. The 07 of Vincent, he clipped the wall hard there. Overcooked it and clips the wall. And it looks like the 31 as well had a off moment as well. Oh yeah, that was a hard one. Just kind of lost it, and the turtle. The dreaded turtle rumble strips is what got him, I think. But all in the meanwhile, the 01 of Travis Bennett out front, kind of walking away with it here. Jesse Whittington has fallen back to about 3-second deficit. Travis Bennett's lap times are nearly a full second faster than the 94 of Whittington. Top four remain unchanged from where they qualified. 5th place, Justin Parham, up 1 spot so far. And a big gainer. The 55 of Ryan Gomes has gained 3 spots since the start. Wonder if the first stage is kind of setting the scene here for the drivers, that they don't want to, you know, push the envelope until after that first stage is in the books. Could definitely affect how they approach this first stage. See the heat in the brakes there on the 94. It looks like he overcooked them and ultimately paid the price as he had to go way out of the race line there and collect it. Didn't lose a position, but definitely lost some momentum while trying to hunt down the 01 car up front. We're going to go in cam with the 94 of Jesse Whittington. This is kind of a unique perspective since road course racing definitely requires a lot of your attention. And so we're going to see some very, very pinpoint precision behind the wheel here. A little uncomfortable there for that, getting loose off the exit. I feel like for road course racing, it's how few of, many mistakes can you make? It's obviously you're going to make a mistake throughout the race, but road course racing tests, just how far it's going to push you. And so there's going to be some microscopic mini, like miscalculations. And I don't know if I'd really call it a mistake, but the success rate at road courses comes down to how many you can minimize on those microscopic miscalculations. And even with just like getting off that corner and losing, I mean, you see that at the oval tracks as well, where they'll push it just a little too hard and kiss the wall. No different. You're obviously trying to find every ounce of racetrack and convert it to speed. And so when you're making these microscopic miscalculations, it's because you're trying to find the edge and how far you can push it to the brink of that edge. Jesse Whittington definitely holding a steady wheel here, trying to catch up to Travis Bennett, but Bennett is out on a Sunday cruise here in the opening stage. Let me confirm, because I don't remember him having started a race this season in the SCSRA. Yeah, no, he has not made a start. So this is his first start on the season here in season number 11 of the SCSRA Cup Series. Without being a scholar of the series myself, I don't know for sure which races he's run before. I'll just take a quick glance at the 2010 season. Like last season, the road course that they ran at last year was Circuit of the Americas. Travis Bennett did run the road course there last season and finished 4th. Winner at Circuit of the Americas for season number 10 of the SCSRA Cup Series was Nathan Brzezowski. Jesse Whittington came in 2nd, so those are 3 very familiar names. However, tonight, Brzezowski not in the field, so kind of light on some of our star power here tonight, that's for sure, but meanwhile, there's still a bunch of talented race stars here tonight that could take that win. Oops, what are we losing? Camera there. So yeah, the drivers, I think, pretty much just trying to set themselves up for that first stage break here today. What exactly happened to Travis Bennett? Must have had an internet fault. Oh man, that's tough. That's why the camera blipped. Nope, there he is. Okay, he's back. Yeah. Okay, so there is some latency problems, perhaps. I don't know for certain, but that was weird how he jumped from leading the race back to 12th, now back to the lead again. He's off to such a lead that he's pushing it, pushing the internet past the prime. So tonight will be a big gain for one driver, whether that's going to be Garrett Walden, Matthew Fritz, or Charles Stevens, as Joseph Irwin absent in tonight's race means that someone's going to get by him for second and potentially third, fourth, and fifth. Joseph Irwin could probably fall all the way back to sixth after sitting out the race here tonight. So we will see upon conclusion, obviously, how the points unfold. Won't see it during the broadcast, but just something that would be a thought on the back burner, that second place is up for grabs in the point standings. Thank you for that tidbit of information, Josh. The 01 of Bennett was full-time last season, so definitely getting the feelings that he's very comfortable with these road courses. Hopefully we'll see him continue through this season with the next races on the calendar. See the 67 of Matthew Fritz making some moves. He's up 4 spots from the start of the race. And here he is hounding the number 5 of Sharn Hill for 7th place. As there's still 4 laps left in this stage to determine stage points. Top 10 will be a battle for the top 10, obviously. Wow, you could barely slip a piece of paper between the wall and You know, there's been some very nasty wrecks at that very spot in the racetrack in real life with the NASCAR Cup Series. We've seen pretty much, you know, blockades form from the wrecks that happen with that wall that just sticks out like a sore thumb. Fritz was able to use up every inch of track without overdoing it there. Let's jump on the in-car cam with that and see just how close for comfort it really is. Might not notice it in the cockpit. So your perception definitely changes in the seat of the race car. Got some drama up ahead. It looks like the 07 of Lauren Vincent stalled on the racetrack. Let's see what happened here, how he came to such a stop. Overcooks it here. Just clips into the kitty litter. On lap 10, so partly wondering if there might be some technical difficulties or something for the 07 here at Lauren Vincent. Looks like he had some damage at some point in the race, so I definitely have missed something. But we'll keep our eyes on the race here. End of the stage. Hopefully Lauren can get back out there, get it fixed, and we can follow along with the in-car cam later here in the race. Wow, 10-second advantage now Travis Bennett has over Charles Stevens Jr. And Jesse Whittington's fallen back to third, so struggling a little bit here right at the end of the stage. Maybe I missed another situation. I don't know if he pitted or not, but actually no, there was no pit stops made. So Charles Stevens simply beat him on raw speed. Matthew Fritz made a pit stop here. A few other drivers may take this opportunity right at the end of the stage. Wow, Whittington's car is looking very, very sketchy. One driver that'll be happy to see that stage break here shortly so that they can maybe make a setup change in the 94 during the stage break, or even adjust anything. Fresh tires might help a little bit. All the sand and grit on the racetrack there, that had to have been from the 07 of Vincent driving through the litter. So that is a stage.
Yellow flag.
Travis Bennett wins the stage here. Charles Stevens Jr. second. Jesse Whittington third. Followed by Kenneth Redinger, Justin Parham, Garrett Walden, Sharon Hill, Matt Vance, Matt Parasini, Matthew Fritz, or in other words, Matt to the third power, as he had Matt Bands, Matt Parasini, and Matthew Fritz, 8th, 9th, and 10th. That ain't confusing at all. Ryan Gomes brings it in 11th for the stage. Vince Brent, 12th. Josh Hall. And then on pit road still, Lauren Vincent. Jorge Ledesma Jr. and Jay Stinson also seemingly out of the race already. So that leaves us with 13 cars left running. And so now is where some of the big moves can be made strategy-wise. This will kind of set these drivers up for the second half of the race. Really, we're only a quarter of the way through the race right now, so it'll set them up for the next 3/4 of the race here tonight. But a lot can be made or lost from a pit stop here on lap 18. That's so wild, seeing all the dirt and sand and pebbles flying through the air when they go through. So yeah, for Travis Bennett, he was off to a full 10-second advantage. Those are Shane Van Gisbergen-esque numbers when it comes to road course racing. So the 01 looking stout. Charles Stevens showing some muscle, getting around Jesse Whittington early in this one. But you might as well throw everything out the door at this point, because there's no telling what can happen with strategy for the rest of the race here tonight. And number 01 looks sharp. I like the Buc-ee's colors, the trim, everything about it looks pretty flashy. There really is not a bad looking car in the field. All these cars look very masterfully put together. I'm definitely one for paint schemes, a sucker for the paint schemes. I've enjoyed painting my own race cars through iRacing and other NASCAR games since 2010, so it's definitely something that catches my eye. So we'll see who gets in and out of pits here quick enough. Travis Bennett he's gonna have to be perfect here today, and one of those things will be having to be perfect on the pit stop as well. Of course, he's got the number 1 stall, so that is a huge advantage for him. As they come down and stop the 01, getting the tires swapped out. I cannot imagine there being a 2-tire stop at this segment in the race. It's going to be 4 for all and all for 4. Bennett, Charles Stevens Jr., Kenneth Redinger beats Jesse Whittington off the pits. Garrett Walden, Sharn Hill, Justin Parham. Parham loses a spot. Matt Parasini has gained 8 spots. He's pretty much, gained half the field since the start of the race. Impressive numbers there for Matt Parasini. Matthew Fritz running in 9th, up 3 spots from where he started. Vince Brent was able to gain some spots on pit road. Matt Bands, Ryan Gomes, and Josh Hall round out the field to the last of the cars that we have left running right now. It seems like Lauren Vincent still getting some repairs done on the 01 machine, or 07, my bad, 07. And the 01 having to serve a penalty, I think. Man, that's odd. So he gets into the line here, into the longest line. has to restart in 13th. That is going to make things interesting here, as we'll have to see if he can come through the field to get back up to the lead again. Looks like Lauren Vincent's back out there. They got the car fixed, I believe. Well, for this restart, let's go ahead and get a different perspective. If he's going to stay out, he might have to come back down the pits here. There we go. Yeah, we'll stick around here, and it'll give us a unique perspective on the restart, getting to watch it from the tail end of the field. Lauren Vincent, part of Royalty Motorsports. There we are, back at the tail end of the lineup here. His teammates include the number 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr., the 72 of Matt Bands, and the 05 of Sharon Hill. As we get set for the restart here, it's going to be lap 20 of 55, meaning we've got 35 laps to go. And that's a good distance. It's going to make for a good lengthy run to the finish now. Pace car's off, and we're getting ready and rolling.
Green, green, green.
Kind of see up front the leaders in the distance. It's going to be interesting to see what the 01 of Travis Bennett can do coming from the back now. Lauren Vincent here getting settled in the back, trying to get the car filled out after the damage it sustained. Having a good run up on the high side here, the 81. So up front right now, your leader, Charles Stevens Jr. and Garrett Walden, two of the drivers fighting to take over the second spot in the points here. The 01 of Travis Bennett's already gained about 5 spots, it looks like, since the start, so definitely going to be keeping an eye on him. His lap times are no joke. I mean, even if he's stuck back here in traffic, it's going to be like he's got the Superman cape or something. He's going to be flying through the field here. But that's not always, easy to pull off, because passing can be very hard, especially at the road courses. Wow, look at that. Eating up the 24. That puts him up to 7. Actually 8, my bad. Definitely going to be a stout contender. 34 laps is loses a lot of time to get back up to the front. And you don't even have to look that much further ahead to see the top 5. I mean, he's within stone's throw of the lead right now after starting in the line. Jesse Whittington holding on solidly to 3rd right now. Garrett Walden in 2nd. He's about a half second off the lead on Charles Stevens Jr. Look at that, Garrett Walden closing the window here. Charles Stevens Jr. might be leading, but for how long? 43 of Walden experimenting with a couple different lines here, trying to find a window of opportunity. But just a couple spots back now, up into 6th, you've got Travis Bennett already about to crack back into the top 5. So the rest of the field might need to be worried about that. For Garrett Walden, that means that it's kind of, pressure cooker time right now. Time to dial it up and get by the 84 while the getting is still good. Or else you might be under attack by the 01 of Bennett. Cypress Academy teammates are Vince Brent, Matthew Parasini, Charles Stevens, Garrett Walden, and Jesse Whittington. So pretty much your top 5, top 3 at least. Good team strategy to stay out, or at least get the track position and stay there. They got lucky and kind of inherit the top positions when the 01 had to get sent to the back. But now the 01 back up to 4th. He's not just in the top 5, he's on his way into the top 3 battle as we speak. So now pouring on the pressure pretty heavy, pretty thick. The 01 knocking on the door. Your Cypress Academy trio needs to start figuring out what to do next to keep that 01 behind them. Garrett Walden gets around the 84 of Charles Stevens, and Stevens falls back to 3rd. But the problem only intensifies here as the 84 is now going to have to defend on the 01, hard charging Travis Bennett. Bennett's right there. He's going to use the back bumpers, a little bit of a draft help. Good run up the hill there, coming down the long backstretch here at Watkins Glen. He's going to settle into 3rd, taking that position from the 84 of Stevens. That right there is no joke speed. The 01 is on fire here today. Even running a little bit under the pace, he's still running about a second faster than your leaders. So just like a shark lurking in the waters. Smell of blood right in front of him there. He is call in the mail. 30 laps left to go here today. Garrett Walden, your leader. Jesse Whittington in second. Travis Bennett from 13th up to 3rd. And he ain't stopping there. Two teammates still kind of flirting with the idea of swapping the lead. But at the moment, the best form of cooperation would be to kind of hang out with each other rather than get side by side. Contrary to what I just stated, they get side by side. Jesse Whittington completes the pass, and they're still ahead of the 01, but you know, if you get side by side too much here, that's only going to allow the 01 to pounce even harder. Looked like Jesse Whittington overdrove it on the downhill straight there. And you saw the smoke. Oh, and he's overcooking it again from the lead, going up the hill. That drops him back to 3rd, bringing the 01 up to 2nd, and Garrett Walden takes back over the lead, but for how long? One going way wide there. I don't think that was a mistake. I think that was simply him trying something a little bit out of the ordinary, maybe to throw the 43 off his cue marks. Yet again, another great run up the hill here for the 01 car. He's right there on the back bumper of the 43. 43 is going to try to maintain the advantage on the inside here, and he keeps the lead away for now. It's another thing in road course racing. It does sometimes become a battle of wits. Who can outwit the other driver? Who can outdrive or outbrake? And it looks like Walden testing the waters here to try and figure out the best defensive line to keep the 01 behind him. Because he knows as soon as that 01 gets by, that is almost game over at that point. So the 43 doing his level darndest to keep the 01 behind him. Pulling a Ryan Newman card. Harder to pass than a kidney stone. 01 goes way high. The 43 kind of blocks that line. So yeah, as I'm calling it, still unfolding like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is racing after all. Some people might scoff at it. It might not be the most, courteous form of racing, but it is still a form of racing. You see it at the super speedways. You know what? If you've got that much faith in your competitor behind you that you're not going to get turned around, more power to you. But with very, big blocking comes great responsibility, and that means paying the price if you've pushed it a little too hard. Right there, the 01's on the inside, and the 43 had to get out of it. No, maybe not. They're going to drag race down the front stretch. 43, I'm assuming, is going to try to outbrake him here. That he does. He's going to keep the brakes glued. He comes in and keeps the lead down the hill there. Masterclass performance on defensive driving from the 43. And Garrett Walden's driving like he wants to take over second place in the points here tonight. He could be sole possession of second place. Even with the second finish, doesn't have to win this race to take over that spot. Man, this reminds me of the good old times when we see racing like this. Hard racing, but clean racing at Watkins Glen. I definitely remember the, I think it was Brad Keselowski and Marcos Ambrose, and they drove the wheels off of those cars, trying to keep, you know, their car up front against their competitor. And, you know, that is true hardcore racing, and especially with a stock car, it's hard to do. These road courses are a lot slower for these stock cars. Woo! And the 94 cooks it into the turn there. Jesse Whittington wanted to get around, but at the same time, overcooking it like that, you're going to lose momentum when you're trying to get up to speed in the next zone. So Whittington takes back over second place. Puts Garrett Walden back to third. 25 laps remaining in the Watkins Glen 55 here today. And now this gets to become the point where Travis Bennett was stretching it out during that first run. We'll likely see a round of pit stops here before the end of this one. I do not believe they can make it to the finish without at least one more stop. So we'll see. Travis Bennett up to a 2-second lead already on Jesse Whittington. Meanwhile, let's go back through the field and see our big gainers here tonight. Currently up 6 spots from his qualifying position of 12th here tonight. Matthew Fritz has gained 6 spots, running in 6th. And Matt Peristini up 9 spots from his dead last qualifying spot here today. Now gains a spot here on Fritz as those two duke it out side by side. Fritz not letting him get by that easily, so this battle might be one worth watching here for a while. In the picture, you've also got the 5 of Sharon Hill and the 72 of Matt Bands, who could also add on to the drama, play a little bit of spoiler here, fighting for that 6th position. Well, at the front of the field, that gap has kind of plateaued here. Travis Bennett has not been able to grow his gap much further past 2 seconds. As Jesse Whittington still sits there in second, Garrett Walden third, Charles Stevens Jr. fourth, and Justin Parham fifth. Yeah, believe it or not, last lap, Jesse Whittington was actually quicker than Travis Bennett. And even so, Jesse Whittington trying to close that gap. It's down to 1.7 there briefly, and it's kind of pivoted back to 2.1 seconds. So lap traffic ahead looks like might factor in here for Travis Bennett. He got around the 81 of Josh Hall, putting him a lap down for the first time here tonight. Alrighty, strategies unfolding as at our very eyes. The 94 coming down pit road first of most and gets off strategy from your leader Travis Bennett. Garrett Walden staying out, as well as Charles Stevens Jr. So Whittington, the first for Cypress Academy to go down pit road here. I believe Travis Bennett is Cypress's Academy as well, so they have been pretty much the top of the field all night here. They have been the stars of the show here at Watkins Glen. And so with Whittington pitting first, that kind of forces the hand here for Travis Bennett that he can't stay out too much longer or he'll risk losing precious lap times to the fresher tires of Jesse Whittington. He's going to stay out another lap past, so 2 laps longer than Jesse Whittington did. Full course cautions are off, which is a grand thing for road course racing because we get to see these strategies unfold, such as the one that Whittington is trying to put forth right now. Kind of turns into a game of chess. Which driver will make that last move, and will it be the right move? Was Whittington coming first the winning move, or is Travis Bennett got something up his sleeve? One thing is for certain, Bennett cannot risk staying out too much later as that'll only allow Whittington a good advantage once he does pit. Staying out another lap here, so. We have another taker down pit road, Garrett Walden. So we know that Walden had pretty much fallen in line behind Whittington. The big telltale here is where he comes out in correlation to the 94 car. He already has fallen to 7th, Whittington in 8th. Going to be rejoining the track here. Jesse Whittington gets by him for 7th. That drops Walden back to 8th. The only true advantage, though, that Walden has is he stayed out about 2 laps longer and has that much fresher tires. So no one's still deciding to stay out here, not pitting. This is a gutsy call to stay out this long past the already established pit window. Matt Parasini's pitting, Sharn Hill is pitting. That brings Matthew Fritz up to 2nd and Matt Baines up to 3rd as they have stayed out this whole time. So the gap is about 49 seconds right now from Travis Bennett to Jesse Whittington. And it looks like that might drop to even 47 or so. It looks like you're going to lose about 40 seconds on pit road here. So 40 or more, depending on other factors in the pit stop, obviously. But for Travis Bennett to be staying out this long is definitely going to make things interesting here. Jesse Whittington up to 3rd now as the others have pitted. Fritz and Brent pitted. So now Jesse Whittington, grand total of 38 seconds back, where he once was 48 seconds back. There we go, the 01 taking his pit stop here with 14 to go. So right now, Matt Baines has stayed out. He inherits the lead here over Travis Bennett. Travis Bennett has a 34-second advantage on Jesse Whittington at the moment, but is he going to be able to keep that? It's dropping rapidly. He got past there. Whittington making the left-hand turn down the hill. Travis Bennett's going to return, though, with fresh tires, with only 14 laps to go. So Whittington might have the advantage on the undercut performance, but Travis Bennett will have the long-standing power of the overcut advantage. gap only 2.5 seconds to Jesse Whittington now for Travis Bennett. Wow, so Jesse Whittington stretching out to a 3.3 second lead over Travis Bennett. Seems like the overcut may not have worked near as well for Bennett as he was hoping it would, as he's not really able to close the gap right now on Whittington in second. And perhaps the tire's still getting warmed up on the 01 car, and we haven't seen it yet, but 3 seconds is a big gap. We have not seen where Travis Bennett is trailing by that very much here today. As we're going to be down to a handful of laps left to go, though. Jesse Whittington back to the lead as Matt Bands makes his pit stop finally. So it's a Cypress Academy lockout in the top 4. First of different team is the 19 of Parham for Venom Racing. Sharn Hill, the number 5 car, he drives for Royalty Motorsports. Matt Bands in the 72. Also with Royalty Motorsports. Matthew Fritz with Venom Racing. Vince Brent with Cypress Academy. And Josh Hall with Neon Racing. Wow, the gap just got cut in half. Travis Bennett went from 2 seconds back to 1.2. So Jesse Whittington, he's got 11 laps to hold off the 01 car. Is it going to be enough? Travis Bennett just turned a 110.59 on fresher tires to Jesse Whittington's 112.20. Featuring the CajunUSA.com livery this week. He's pretty good at splitting up the livery from week in and week out. While he's up here leading, let's give him a one more shot with the side-by-side cam. Might be a good indicator here, seeing him defend the spot, how intense his driving is going to have to be to defend that spot. Keep the inside line and force them on the high side. That's a good strategy there. But man, when the 01 has a car that stout, it's just hard to put him in a bad situation. He's going to drag race down the front stretch. 94 is going to keep those brakes up and try to outbrake him. The 01 goes way wide. He's going to come back down across the racetrack and inherit the lead. Get it? He got that one on pure muscle. Travis Bennett back to the top spot with 10 laps to go. Looks like we did have a crash on the race course. Vince Brent gets crashed here. A little butt kicker replay action. We just cooked it a little too hot going into the turn there down the front stretch. recovers pretty quickly, gets back on the racetrack here. But now, you can count the amount of laps on 2 hands left in the race here. Bennett has done it all. He's gone from the very back up to the front. He started up front with the pole, and he had to do it on strategy. Ultimately put him behind the 8 ball on that strategy, but he was able to race for it, get it back. And the 94 of Jesse Whittington was trying to outsmart him, and it looks like it's going to fall short as there's only 9 laps left to go. Short of a Hail Mary or a miracle, Whittington's going to need some luck to go his way to catch that number 01 car. And for being your points leader, Jesse Whittington is only going to continue to extend that points lead. And with Travis Bennett leading the field right here with 9 to go, that would be 6 different winners in the first 6 races of the season. So the parity is unmatched here in the SCSRA Cup Series. We could be looking at a long extension before finally seeing a driver get their 2nd win of the season. When you look at the field, there's obviously some drivers that could potentially break out and win for the second half of the season. You're looking at the likes of Garrett Walden, who's shown some strength. Sharn Hill, he could definitely show up and win a race. Matthew Fritz is very strong week in, week out. I mean, this field is stacked. I mean, even Josh Hall, known for his success in this series before, could find victory lane. And so, with that, where does the parity end? Are we going to have a season of 15 races and 15 different winners? At that point, it gets a little bit harder to crown a champion, but then you'll start looking, instead of at the win category, you'll look at the top 3. You'll look at the top 5. And obviously, Jesse Whittington is there every week on a podium. So, if he's not getting the wins, that's not necessarily a deal breaker, because if he can still finish 2nd, 3rd, runner-up or podium, that is a championship caliber season right there. Doesn't have to be full of wins. Obviously you got to be on top of your game every week, and sometimes that's just hard to do. And you've got other drivers that could peak on any given week and have the best night of their, race season. And I think that's what we're seeing here with Travis Bennett, having missed the first 5 races of the season, showing up to Watkins Glen and laying a whoop down on the field. Of course, you cannot count the eggs, can't count the chickens until all the eggs have hatched, and we still got 7 laps to go. Anything possibly could unfold here. Whittington might get a lucky break. Who knows? We'll see. That's why you got to run into the very finish. Lap times have kind of plateaued for the 01 of Bennett. He turned a 112.06. Jesse Whittington at a 112.93. Looks like we got 11 cars left on the lead lap. The 01 has been number 1 for most of the night here. All he's got to do is bring it home at this point. 6 laps remaining. Josh Hall was able to get his lap back briefly, but now he's back a lap down again. Watching as the pebbles go flying up through the air. So after tonight, the next race on the calendar is New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And that will be 160 laps from New Hampshire with a stage break at lap 50. This will mark our kind of our last race before holiday break for Thanksgiving. And so the 19th next week on November. Race number 7, that puts us at about the halfway point. The holiday break is kind of the true halfway point. Then we return December 3rd for Charlotte, part of the lengthiest race in the SCSRA Cup Series. It'll be our Coke 600 basically, but cut in half, so it'll be the Coke 300 from Charlotte with stage break at lap 35 and lap 100. December 10th, they'll roll into Atlanta, or in other words, Echo Park Speedway. The Super Speedway wild card event for sure. We'll see 125 laps from there with a stage break on lap 40. And then Martinsville before the Christmas and New Year's break. Then a 5-race push starting in January that'll cap it all off in February on Homestead soil for 150 laps to crown the champion then. Well, the advantage now up to 3.33 seconds. Jesse Whittington still set in second. Garrett Walden in third. Not a whole lot of drama throughout the field. It looks like everyone's kind of settled into where they're going to finish here tonight. Great points day for Garrett Walden as he's going to jump up to second in the points. Justin Parham will be close behind him. And Charles Stevens Jr. as well is going to gain at least a spot or two in the points once tonight's dust all settles. Sharn Hill just shy of a top 5 finish as he's running 6th here today. Matt Baines in 7th. Matthew Fritz in 8th. Vince Brent and Matt Parasini rounding out the top 10. 10 cars on the lead lap. 11 cars still running as it seems Josh Hall might be the last car. First car lap down, last car out on the racetrack. As Ryan Gomes is on pit road, seemingly retired. Kenneth Redinger on pit road as well. Lauren Vincent, Jorge Ledesma Jr., and Jay Stinson. Looks to be our 5 retirements from the race here today. We're down to just a couple laps left to go. Travis Bennett has put on a clinic here for the rest of the field. 5 seconds now the advantage as he's still going about 2 seconds a lap faster over Jesse Whittington each lap. And this race is going to be over in near record time as most of our races have stretched to about the 2-hour mark. This one here tonight, it's going to be right at about the 1 hour and 15 minute mark. If you don't include practice and qualifying, it's about a 1 hour 15 minute race here. Kind of a great, storyline shocker here with Travis Bennett coming back from hiatus and stunning the field in tremendous fashion. He's going to see the white flag this time by. White flag waving, 1 lap to go. Field 1 5-second lead over Jesse Whittington. And regardless, you know, it's another championship caliber run from the 94 team. Even if they're not able to lock down the win. He was heartbroken last week not getting the win at Indianapolis, one of the tracks that I feel like every driver wants to win at. And you could see the emotion. You know, he was wanting that one badly. And unfortunately it got, you know, got out of his grasp. Well, here tonight, he, you know, just didn't have enough for Travis Bennett, who had lap times faster than everyone from practice to qualifying to the main event. Just a couple turns left in the race. The 01 gets to cruise through the last set of turns here. He's going to get into victory lane here today for the first time in Season 11 of the SCSRA Cup Series. Here at Watkins Glen, your winner after 55 laps, it's Travis Bennett. And a stellar points day for Jesse Whittington and Garrett Walden. A Cypress Academy lockout on the podium. Good call. I'm going to go back just a hair here. It looks like we had a good battle. That I was snoozing on here. Just watch this lap as the cool down lap here. Fritz was trying to catch Matt Baines here on the last lap. As both the drivers are just trying to stretch it home here. Fritz with a good opportunity to battle for 7th. Baines trying to hold on for dear life. Baines has the top, you know, has the advantage, has the spot. Fritz is the one that has to put up the fight here. Ultimately for the 67 though, it doesn't look like he had enough for him. They tried to drag race down the front stretch, but the 72 kept the position. And so there is your final standings here at the end of the race here tonight. Travis Bennett, your winner. Jesse Whittington, 2nd. Garrett Walden, 3rd. Justin Parham, 4th. Charles Stevens Jr., 5th. Sharon Hill, Matt Baines, Matthew Fritz, Vince Brent, Matt Parasini, Josh Hall, Ryan Gomes, Kenneth Redinger, Lauren Vincent, Jay Stinson, and Jorge Ledesma Jr. Cypress Academy photo op right there at the start-finish line. 2/3 of your podium. Jesse Whittington must have pulled it off the racetrack already. We're going to go ahead and interview. Oh, there we go. Whittington joins the trio up here for the photo op. How cool. So we'll go ahead and interview our driver that finished 3rd here tonight, the number 43 of Garrett Walden. Got you in the booth, Garrett. Do you copy?
Yeah, I got a copy, sir.
Well, how about that? That was a strategic top 3 for you. Did you How did you feel all night going through the reps here at Watkins Glen?
Really just I felt actually pretty good. Just wanted to stay consistent the whole time. I didn't really feel like I had much for Jesse and Travis at the front. So the whole goal was just to stay consistent, run a good line, don't mess up, and that worked out for me here at the end.
Are road course races something that you look forward to, or is it one of those things that you kind of fret when it comes up on the schedule?
I'm not the biggest fan of them. Uh, I mean, I don't consider myself that great of a road course racer, but I found that as long as you stay consistent like I was tonight, run, good laps, don't burn your stuff up, it can work out in the end, and that's basically what I did tonight. I would say I've, in the top five as far as fast laps, but I stayed consistent. My lap time stayed consistent, and that's like how I kept up with him in the front.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the big keys to road course racing. That and minimizing mistakes made. Do you feel like you were able to minimize mostly all the mistakes when it comes to road course racing?
Yeah, I felt like I knew the parts of the track where I wasn't good. I knew the parts where I struggled, and like this is where I can easily mess up. And I really practiced that before the race this week, and that way I was able to minimize just certain mistakes, especially breaking points. And that's what really helped me here at the end of this race to keep up with the front two.
That's awesome. Yeah, seat time definitely helps a lot. Any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
Just shout out to my team, Cypress Academy, Jesse and Charles, Matt, Vince, and Travis over there for the win. He ain't been able to race with us much this season. Shout out to the admins for the just awesome league they put on every week, and you for the awesome broadcast you also put on for us every week. It's just been a great time.
Well, yeah, congrats to you and the team for putting on a podium lockout there for Cypress Academy. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good night and enjoy this top three finish.
Yes, sir. You too.
So that was Garrett Walden with his third place finish here tonight. And we're gonna hop on over to a guy that we've heard a lot from this year. Another podium on the season, continuing to hold that points lead. It's none other than Jesse Whittington. Jacob in the booth, do you copy, Jesse?
I got you.
Well, another stellar night, another podium, and just it seemed like Travis Bennett was beyond faster than the whole field. What was the big difference here tonight?
I I just needed to be better. Nothing more, nothing less. I just kept on making mistake after mistake, and Travis wasn't. That's all there is to it. He ran a really good race. Fellow Louisianian. To finish 1-2. I'm happy for him. Comes back part time. So man, I just needed to be better. That's all there is to it.
Well, that's cool for you guys with Cypress Academy getting a 1-2-3 finish. And it looked like there were some good battles throughout the field I saw with your teammates as well. How about that? The friendly battle between teammates. How did that all unfold, or how was that going?
Oh, I know I accidentally gave Garrett a little bit of a code brown whenever we were behind Charlie at one point. A completely accidental move. I just locked up. I wasn't paying attention and just dove to the inside and somehow it stuck. And yeah, I mean it was all in good fun. I, I was not expecting to come out here and realistically a top 10 for me tonight was beyond expectations, but um at the end of the day, being able to come home P2, and then we don't have some guys that are high up in the championship standings right now either. So hopefully, just keep on padding the points lead as we wind the regular season down, carry in some bonus points into the playoffs, and yeah, I gotta say I'm thankful for my teammates though. They kept my head in it way more than I wanted it to be there.
Well, does this series have a drop race? I was kind of wondering about that because not seeing a lot of the big names, I was not sure. Is there a drop race or no?
Yes, there is a drop race, but it does not go into effect until after let me see real quick. Allow me to confirm this if you don't mind. Um I believe it goes into effect going into the final regular season race. So I guess going into Martinsville, after Atlanta, we will know what our drop race is, and but
So
that's it. You don't get any drop races in the playoffs.
so basically, if anyone were to sit out a race and didn't want to run the road course, that could potentially equate to a drop off race, then, right?
Yeah, but then uh I think it has to be a race that
You
you
start.
attempted, if I
Okay.
remember correctly. I think I may be wrong. I don't quote me on that. I think that's how it is though.
Alrighty. Well, either way, now that I know that, I didn't mean to get us too sidetracked there, but
No, it's all good.
uh, any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here after a second place finish at Watkins Glen?
Oh, absolutely. Sponsor for the remainder of the season on the hood, Cajun Industries. Um, uh, of course, my wife, my kids, my friends, my family that all tune into the race, whether it's my stream or your broadcast or whatever it may be. I can't thank everybody enough for the support. Um, Luke Haley Music, Nobuo, Blacklight, Moza, um, Big Fish Barbecue. Thanks to the league for giving me the opportunity to run and allow and putting this on week after week, and of course thanks to you for putting on the broadcast. And tell Travis if you don't mind, can I say congratulations because I'm about to head out. I need some rest. You have a great rest of your night, though. Thank you for everything.
Yep, yep. Have a great one, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. So
And so, with our last interview of the evening, it is the 01 of Travis Bennett coming out of hiatus to take victory here tonight at Watkins Glen. Jacob in the booth, do you copy Travis?
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, man. I finally got a road course sweep. I've been trying to do that in this league for a very long time now, and something always happens in Cup. I'm really excited about this.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I'm still kind of a scholar. I'm still learning on the SCSRA Cup Series. And so when I saw you in the broadcast here tonight, I was kind of lost. I was like, man, I haven't seen this name, haven't seen him drive. And so it was kind of interesting to learn the lore with the chat, comment section a little bit, doing a little bit deeper dive into the standings of the past few years. So yeah, no, hell of a run here tonight at Watkins Glen. What did it take to get that, that strong, that strength here tonight?
A lot of holding back, uh, eh, believe it or not, man, because I thought I could drive. Well, I didn't. Dude, to be honest with you, I don't know. I was just hanging on for dear life in these things. Those curves are ridiculous.
Yeah, those turtle bumps will get you. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was trying to get it to relate to the ARCA car, but man, the ARCA car drives so much different. It's way more planted, but yet we were running pretty much close to the same lap time, so kind of funny.
Well, uh, are we gonna see any more races attempted this season for you in the season 11 running of SCSRA Cup?
Trying to pull up the schedule now. I don't think so. I kind of tried to take this season off. We had a newborn, so trying to put iRacing on the back burner, but road courses, man, I had to make an exception for that.
No, totally. It seems like you've got the road course skill for sure. And I'm stoked that we got to watch you put on a clinic here with the field. Is there any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, it's everybody over at what the team's channel that I invaded. What is it? Cypress Academy. aka Full Throttle Motorsports. I'm guessing pretty much the same people. Um, and you for broadcasting, man, it's always awesome to come back and watch these things. Um, and the admins for putting this stuff on, man. Uh, I keep on preaching every time I do an interview, but it's true. It takes more than one person to put together something like this and put family time aside just to do stuff like this. You know what I mean? It's everybody makes a little bit of a sacrifice and
Right? No, it's definitely
just don't want it to
special.
go unnoticed.
No, it definitely it goes noticed. That's for sure. We appreciate all the racers that put on the show, all the admins, all the broadcasting, and everything that goes into it. It's a true spectacle. That's for sure. And
Yeah.
congratulations on the win here tonight. I know Jesse in his interview wanted to give a shout out and congratulate you on the win. He had to jet out, so um, it seems like a popular victory here tonight.
Yeah, man. Come to find out, Jesse lives like 20 minutes away from my house. I met him randomly in this league. It's kind of funny. So
That's
two
wild.
Louisiana guys, 1-2. Pretty cool.
Small world after all.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it was fun racing with him. He, I guess he definitely thought he was going to get this win, and I thought he was too. After I sped on pit road there, but just put my head down and tried to focus at the task at hand.
Well, thanks again, and if we see you again this season, then we do. If not, totally understand. Life comes first and foremost. The hobbies are kind of the secondary part of things, but yeah, thanks again and congratulations here tonight.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I might see y'all at Martinsville.
Alrighty, well, have a good night.
You too. Thanks, man.
And that, folks, is a wrap here tonight from Watkins Glen. The only left and right turns race that we have on the season. Everything else is oval racing at this point. So, get to see a familiar face from prior seasons take the victory here tonight. Definitely a popular win amongst the group, and we'll see how this unfolds for the rest of the season. That's kind of, yeah. In a way, Travis Bennett tonight is the SVG win on the season because it may not mean a whole lot to the championship scheme of things, but still a popular win, still a dominant performance and a masterclass performance on skill set. So, with that, folks, thank you for tuning in. Apologies that I missed some battles keeping it up at the front there. It could have been some good battles going on in the field and I missed it and I apologize. The road course is just a little bit harder to cover sometimes. You don't know what to look for. And I definitely was caught snoozing on that one, not checking the lap times, checking the intervals to see what drivers were putting on a good battle here tonight. So, on to the oval tracks for the rest of the season. We'll see you next week at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and then obviously we'll go on break for Thanksgiving. So, thanks again, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you, Intensity Broadcasting, and everyone else in the SCSRA Cup Series for